This is a story that I have only told a handful of times. This happened around 2009. I used to live with my dad, my two brothers, and my grandma in her house. I don't mean to sound cliche, but this house was infamous in our family for paranormal activity in the past. I used to share a room with my dad, mainly because I was terrified of sleeping in a room by myself, even as a teenager. The night of the occurrence, my dad's girlfriend came over to stay. The room we stayed in was in the basement. It was refurbished and nice, but was still straight up horror movie material. The three of us fell asleep around 1 AM after watching a movie. I was on the couch parallel to the bed, where my dad and Pam, his girlfriend, was sleeping, no more than 5 feet away. I was in a great deep sleep, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my eyes snapped open, and I was wide awake. I wasn't groggy or anything like that. It was like I hadn't even been asleep 2 seconds ago. It was so strange. I was just laying there, on my back, looking around the room. My eyes were adjusting to the dark, but I could only see silhouettes of things in the room, like my TV and the dresser. It was pitch black in the basement at night. I wasn't scared, just confused on how and why I just snapped awake like that. About 5 minutes pass, and just as I'm about to fall back asleep, I hear my dad's voice to my left. "Tyler, what are you doing?" I was caught off guard because I didn't expect him to be awake. I turned my head to see his silhouette, still laying in bed. I was confused as to why he asked me what I was doing when I was just laying there. I said, "What do you mean?" He didn't answer me. I was thinking he was just talking in his sleep like he usually did. I fell back off almost immediately. The next morning, I woke up and walked into the living room. My dad was sitting at the table, smoking a cigarette. I'll never forget, he had all the curtains pulled open, the radio on, and it was a beautiful, sunny day outside. I walked over and sat down with him. We started talking about random stuff. Then I remembered what happened the night before, so I asked him, "Why did you ask me what I was doing last night?" I had a smile on my face thinking he was going to say he didn't remember because he was sleep talking, but he had this real, serious look etched across his face. He said, "I don't even think I should tell you." I instantly felt fear wash over me. I didn't want him to tell me, but I had to know. The curiosity was killing me. Just typing this out is giving me goosebumps all over again. This is what he told me, word for word. "Last night when you were asleep, I woke up out of the blue. I was laying there for a while before I happened to look over, and I saw you squatting on the arm of the couch, kind of like a gargoyle statue. That's when I asked what you were doing, but when you answered me, your voice came from the opposite end of the couch. That's when my eyes focused in, and I saw you lying there. Tyler, something was watching you. I didn't want to scare you, so I didn't say anything. I just laid there and watched it. It never moved or turned its head. I couldn't make out any features or anything like that. It eventually just faded into the black of the room. This story has haunted me ever since. The scariest part of all of this is, it wanted us to see it. It woke me and my dad up at the same time, unbeknownst to each other, but I never saw it, and I'm so glad I didn't. If I just looked down towards my feet, there is no telling what I would have seen or what would have happened. I just had to get this story out, so you could all hear it. My story begins on a hot summer night in Central California. I just moved into a new home and had my brother staying for a visit. My boyfriend was working a late shift and didn't usually come home till around 2 or 3 AM. So on this night I was alone in bed, and it was around 1 AM. I awoke suddenly to the unsettling feeling that someone was watching me. The window directly next to my side of the bed faces the backyard, and I had the window open and blinds drawn in the hope of some kind of breeze. As I opened my eyes, about 2 foot away, I saw what looked to be a young female child staring dead at me through the screen. I froze, holding my breath because although this seemed to be a child, she didn't exactly look alive and well. Her gaze and facial expression were very unnerving. She wasn't blinking or making a sound. I couldn't see more than just a face. No body seemed to be there, as if it was just a floating head. Thinking it to be a mix of a dream somehow being projected into my reality, or my eyes playing tricks on me. I blinked a couple of times thinking she would disappear, but she didn't. I jumped out of bed and quickly shut the blinds. I paced in a circle near the window, wondering if I should open it again and seeing if she was gone, but I was terrified. It'd be like a jump scare in a movie, and something would burst through the screen. I sat on the bed for a minute, staring at the shut blinds, totally freaked out and in disbelief what was happening. Although I've had many paranormal experiences, I've never actually seen a ghost face to face. After I stopped having a mini panic attack, I woke up my brother in the living room and told him what I had seen. He half asleep jumped off the couch thinking it was an intruder and immediately ran out to the backyard to look. He looked all around the bushes and even went out front to look to see if anyone was fleeing the area. He found no one, and we couldn't debunk the situation. I've never had anything super creepy happen in this home, although the house is pretty old, so I wouldn't doubt the possibility of there being a death in the home, or at least on the property. Some nights, when I'm laying in bed, I wonder if I'll ever see her again, peeking through my bent blinds, but needless to say, I haven't slept with my window open again, even on the most pleasant of nights.